The best thing I ever did was disappear.
Seems like motherfuckers should be shutting the hell up and enjoying the show.
Hey, we made it.
And what I mean by that is just cutting out all the unnecessary noise that is surrounded around us. All the noise that ultimately keeps us from getting to know self. One of the biggest distractions is social media. Now, I'm no stranger to disappearing. I will disappear in a second. I have my moments where I go ghost. Not in real life, but on social media, I will go ghost. And once upon a time, that was so unlike me because I ran a boutique, a clothing store for almost 10 years. So I was always active on social media day in, day out. And around 2021, I lost an important family member, and they kind of shifted things for me quite a bit. So I took a step back. I needed to gather my thoughts. I needed to really just be in tune with myself and figure out what was all of these emotions and everything that I was feeling. So I took a step back, did that, I came back. And recently, in 2024, I disappeared again. But this time it wasn't for that reason, it was for another reason. A reason to reinvent myself, if you will. So what happened was, I was in a very, very happy dating stage of my life, and I began to just do all of the things that made me happy, which included eating. Ate out a whole lot. And before you knew it, I went to see my mom one day, and she just pointed out, she was like, "Oh, I see you gaining a little weight." And I promise you, that's all it took. Now, I'm not gonna act like I didn't notice that I was picking on weight, but it hits different when someone that you don't see a lot notice it and they mention it. So I was like, whoa. Because before I got in this so happy la 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 stage, I was very active in the gym, and then I fell off. Now, it's not nothing crazy. I didn't go and get obese or anything, but I had definitely gained an extra 20, 30, a little extra weight. And honestly, that's not for me. I really like when I'm smaller. I feel better when I'm smaller. I feel like I operate better when I'm smaller. I can think. Everything just works when I'm smaller, and I'm healthier, and I'm fit, and I'm more active. So I got off of Instagram for one, TikTok, and I don't do Facebook at all. Like, burn that app. But anyway, and I have like little key points here because I get to talking, and then sometimes I'll get off topic. So I want to keep the flow going. You just consume so much. And for me, honestly, it wasn't even me like overly consuming other people's lives, because I'm someone who can compartmentalize. Like, I don't take things for more than what I like. You know how sometimes people overanalyze and over compare themselves because they see somebody doing something or with something or what have you. I'm not one of those people. I'm somebody who creates my life to where I don't have to have hatred, jealousy, envy, or any of those things in my heart, because when I get up and I open my eyes and I'm blessed enough to live to see another day, I am happy with what I see. I am happy with what I can do. I'm happy with what I have. Once I got off of social media and more so in tune with myself, focusing on what I like and what I didn't like, I realized that I actually enjoyed being out in nature. And I also realized that I like to paint, and painting became very therapeutic for me as well. Now, to piggyback off of year 2021, when I lost that loved one, I ultimately picked up journaling to better understand self, manage my emotions, just jot down everyday, life things or anything. It's just like a journal. I wanted to have it to reflect back on years later or a year later or months, however. So I picked up journaling as well, and I've been doing journaling consistently since 2021. That's also something that I think is very helpful for your mindset, your mental. Once I got back active in the gym, I started to stop certain habits that I had. I had this real bad sweet tea habit, like the pure leaf sweet teas, the purple ones, the extra sweet. Those were my thing. I kept those in my fridge, just like I keep coffee now. I kept them in my fridge. And so, believe it or not, I said to myself, I said, this is it. This is the last time I'm ever drinking a sweet tea. I'm ever buying these sweet teas. Not drinking a sweet tea, but I simply cut off sweet tea cold turkey, and I ended up just not drinking sweet tea no more. Now, that was in 2024. We're now in August of 2026, and I haven't purchased a pure leaf sweet tea since. And I can count on one hand how many sweet teas I've had at restaurants. I typically like to drink water with a little lemon, and also if I decide to have a little wine or a little cute cocktail or something like that. But typically I keep water and coffee in my fridge. Along with that came better eating habits. I watch what I eat and how much of things I eat. I still eat what I like to eat and what I want to eat, but it's all in moderation. Now, I notice what social media does to a lot of people. It makes you feel like you are less than. It can make you feel like you're behind. It can make you feel bad if you ain't got your mind right. And if you're not ultimately doing the things that work for you, and know that everybody's life is going to look different. Everybody's success is different. If you ask anybody what's their definition of success, what will make them feel successful or complete or whole, you're going to get a different answer from everybody. And that right there should let you know that you should never ever care to compare yourself to others. But on social media and all of the things that are thrown at us every time you swipe or click or whatever, you will feel like you're behind ultimately, when you're exactly where you need to be, depending on the hard work you're putting in. Now, the problem that I sometimes have still to this day is that just the parasocial relationships that people have with you, the perception. I know people are going to perceive you regardless of whatever it is that you put on the internet. If it's positive things, if it's negative things, if it's a mixture, you're always going to be perceived. And there are going to be people who have parasocial relationships with you that don't know nothing about you but feel like they know everything about you because you put a snippet here, or you put a little information there, or you shared your library, or you shared pictures of your gym. But that don't mean you know people. That don't mean you know everything about them. And I have hard times with that because I'm somebody who value privacy. I'm someone who's very selective as well. And so I struggle sometimes with staying consistent online, especially after taking a break and knowing how good that feels and how much more clarity you have within self when you do that. Like, so I have trouble with getting back into social media after taking a break, or sometimes I get a little anxious or feel anxiety when I post. And I don't know if you feel that same way. I'm sure you do. I'm sure other people feel that same way, because I've spoke about this with my peers and they feel the same way, and it's normal. But it's definitely something that I'm still struggling with, and I don't look at it as a struggle. I know that it's normal, right? I know that the feelings and thoughts that I have about it is very normal. Another thing that I realized that I got back into is finding my love for reading again. That came around year 2021 as well. And then when I went off grid around 2024 again, I picked up more reading habits as well. Like I said, more painting, journaling, just overall, just all of those things that are very mental beneficial. It makes you feel good whether you know it or not. Journaling for sure. You become out of sight, out of mind almost. And so you will see who really cares about you in a way. Because I have people, it don't matter if I'm online or offline, they're gonna check in. And same with me, because I don't look at online as a way to, as an alert or a whistle to be like, oh, let me see what such and such is doing, because I just seen them post online. Like, it is what it is. If I'm online, I'm online. If I'm not, the same, it's still going. Life's still going. Things still going on. Nothing stops. So those are some of the things that I realized changed once I stopped sharing. I realized that I don't really communicate with a lot of people on the regular, because what happens is on social media, especially if you have an engaging audience such as myself, if you post something, you're going to get comments, you're going to get DMs, you're going to get all type of things that make you feel like you're not alone, you're not lonely, when honestly this is just the app. And if you didn't post those things on this app, then on your phone for real, in your contacts, who do you talk to on the regular? Who do you see on the regular? Who checks in with you? You know, and not saying that you necessarily need that, but that is the reality of it. It's good to have a social life in real life outside of the internet. It's good to have a lot of things going on outside of the internet. And it's also very good to be selective about what you post and how you post. And I hate for people to think that when you say you're private, they misunderstand that as being secretive, because private and secretive are two totally different things. I'm not secretive about anything, but I'm very private and I'm very selective. And I've been this way for a long time. If you know me, then you know this is just how I am. And I'm blessed enough to say that the people who I surround myself around and allow access to me, they understand that about me, and I understand things about them. And it's a boundary that I just won't cross if I know, you know, how they are, and I accept them for that. That's another good thing about what disappearing does for you. It allows you to see things more clearly, see people more clearly too. And ultimately, outside of all of that, it allows you to see yourself more clearly, allow you to see what you like, what you don't like, what you think about a lot, what you should maybe start thinking about a lot, what you know, all of that type of stuff. From December, mid-December, I've been active online, and the difference between when I disappeared and now is that I post a lot of this style content, book, you know, content. Of course, I'm known for style and fashion and all of that. That'll never change. That's something I'll forever be known for, and that's something that truly comes natural to me. But I do love the fact that me coming back and inspiring others to pick up a book and get into reading more. Even, like I mentioned, my mom, she's been into books more than I've ever seen in my life. My little sister, she's online heavy. And I just like to be a good inspiration, a positive inspiration to these young girls and young women who are so impressionable on this internet. So I can't, and then working out too. I'm very active with working out. I post my gym. I post me doing little workouts here and there. So that's what I did differently. I don't overly share. So what I do share, I don't mind sharing. I'm not someone who's gonna give you a house tour or anything like that. I don't do that, but I'll show you what I want to show you. And I think more people should realize that people show you what they want to show you. I don't care what you're seeing. People show you what they want to show you, and you honestly do not know what's really going on. It could be really peaches and cream, or it could be the total opposite, but that's not even your business. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? You should just always focus on self. I think life is all about getting to know self. In life, I feel like we're here to get to know ourselves. It's an ongoing journey of getting to know self more and more. And I feel like when people do that, the happier they will be, the less of comparison it'll be, and it'll be more happiness around, because if you compare yourself, you would be so unhappy. You know what I mean? So I hope I made some good points in this video, because I feel like everybody should disappear. If not even for a year, at least 6 months, but I would recommend at least a year. Disappear for a year or longer, hey, or disappear off the net forever. I don't do that. Like, you're not missing anything. And that's another thing I realized when I came back. I wasn't missing anything. Everything was the same, pretty much. Same old same. You're not missing out on anything. Go touch some grass. Go live your life and live it for you. Be happy with what you have. Be grateful. Be thankful. Be blessed. And I hope you like this video. Make sure you leave me a like, a comment, something, you know, words of encouragement, anything. If something helped you in this video, let me know. Subscribe, please. I'm trying to, you know, put me back in the algorithm on YouTube. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Let me know what other topics y'all want me to talk about too, and I'll be happy to talk about them too. All right, chat later. Mwah.
And shout out again to all those people who hate my guts, but is sitting in a quiet place listening to my show. You are obsessed and sick, okay? Okay, I'll be right back, and let's get into something else.
He needed a moment of silence. We made it.